Alright, what's good, YouTube? And we're back again with another video, man. For today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys lineups. Now, remember when we talked about the positions? Now we're gonna do lineups, man. So, when it comes to lineups, I don't know why I'm in there. So you got three roles. You got the point guard, you got the scorer, and then you got the big. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys lineups and what would work best together if you were playing the game. So, a team obviously when you're playing this game, you need to have a point guard, bro. Point guard's a must. You need to have a scorer, you need to have big. So your first lineup would be a post scoring big man. If you don't know what a post scoring big man is, it's a big man who can go inside the paint, he can slash. Pretty much a big man, but just can't shoot, that's all. So these big men are usually gonna have better rebounding, better post scoring. Overall they're gonna be better in the paint. Then you got your sharpshooters or your catch and shoots. So these characters are gonna have overall better shooting. They're gonna have better perimeter offense. These guys are gonna have better perimeter defense. Well, not perimeter, but interior defense and interior offense. These guys are going to have better perimeter offense, and then these guys, the point guards, are going to have better perimeter defense. So your first one would be a post score, a catch and shoot, and then you got your point guard. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys why, you have what you have. So obviously, you have this guy just to, catch the boards, because let's be real. If you're playing with a catch and shoot, you gotta put it up in the paint. You're gonna be like the only slasher in here. So a good example would be Luther. He's a pretty good post scorer. He can dunk the ball in. He can do all sorts of things, inside the paint. You got Rin, which is your catch and shoot. So Rin will pass to Pedro. Pedro pass back. Both of them will work together to get open, and then she can get shots that way. But yeah, pretty much, man. This character doesn't really go in. Usually, as when you're a catch and shoot, you don't go inside the paint. You just shoot outside shots. That's pretty much it. That's why I say you play as a regular big man, and then you have a regular shooter. So like I said, your shooter will just shoot from the outside. They don't go inside the paint as much. These guys go in the paint. They pretty much paint hog. So they sit in the paint. And then you got the point guards. Obviously, their role is to just turn the ball over. Pretty much, that's all. Your second lineup is going to be now this is different, but this is a big man that can shoot. So you got stretch big men. You got your slashers. So instead of actually going on the outside and shooting the ball, you go inside the paint. And then these guys are also different because they got better ball handling. So these guys will... Yeah, pretty much these guys are just going to go inside the paint, and these guys are kind of like playmakers, sort of, if you really think about it. And then obviously have a point guard, Now, obviously, here's how it goes, man. So, instead of passing back and forth like this lineup here, Joey's going to be hogging the ball because he's got the ball handling. So Joey will break inside the paint. He'll get... If the big man's on him, he'll pass to Lulu. Lulu will shoot the open shot. Otherwise, if the big man isn't on him, then Joey will just break in the paint and then he'll throw it down. So yeah, pretty much, man. This is the lineup. This is the second lineup. This is more of an unusual lineup. I like this lineup whenever I'm playing solo queue because this lineup right here, you're not really communicating. Kind of versatile, like obviously you're playing as a big man who can shoot, and you're playing a scorer who can slash. Usually you don't really find a lot of that nowadays, because nowadays you're playing this lineup, which is regular big man, regular shooter, and then a regular point guard. But this time you would have a stretch big man, and then you would have a slasher shooter. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, point guard obviously is just there to play perimeter defense. But that's literally it, man. Now, Now, you guys notice how, Rin shoots the ball whenever she's playing. Rin will shoot the ball more often. Lulu's probably going to shoot the ball more often also. Because like I said, the most common shots that you guys will see are outside shots. Paint shots aren't really needed because when you guys swarm yourself in the paint, you're going to end up getting crowded and all that. So when you guys are in the paint, make sure you pass it out. If you can take the shot, take the shot, but try not to hog it too much in the paint, otherwise you'll have the entire team surrounding you, and then that's how you get the ball stolen. Otherwise, man, yeah, so like there's like a little trend here, where the shooters are gonna end up scoring most of the points. Like in this lineup, you're big, and then your scorer will end up scoring the most points, and then Rin will probably be scoring the most points in the. Now, the difference is that your shooters are gonna be put like in charge. That's why I say playing as a catch and shoot is very difficult. So if you're playing like a shooting guard, like let's say Rin, it's very difficult, man, because you have to. The thing is, if you're playing as a scorer, you gotta shoot the ball majority of the time. You're so pretty much everything is expected on you. Compared to if you were to have a stretch big and then a slasher, then the responsibility is both on them, because like I said, both of them would have the same shooting score. But notice how Joey and Lulu have the same mid range and 3-point. So yeah, pretty much, man. That's pretty much it, dude. I mean, like, both these guys will shoot outside shots depending on if they can. Depends though, so, This is why this lineup is better for solo queue, just in case if one of you guys isn't scoring, then the other guy can. This lineup is better if you're playing on comms, because one guy will be in charge of scoring. And if he messes up, you can just always switch. So yeah, this lineup, in my opinion, will always be better lineup, because one guy shoots, one guy slashes the ball, and then you got the guy who just plays with point guard instead of having mix-ups. So yeah, now some characters that can do a little bit of everything. Lulu is one of those characters. Lulu can play big, and she can also play scorer. So that means she can shoot the ball, but she can also get rebounds. Same with Joey. Except Joey in my opinion is less versatile because he doesn't have the rebounding that Lulu does. And then Rin would be a good example of a combo guard, so someone who can play both point guard and scorer. So if you have two combo guards and a regular big man, and I'm talking about regular big man, like taller power forward, mostly taller power forward, bro, then you pretty much have another lineup, which is two combo guards and a big, And then you would have this lineup, which is obviously the same as this. So you'd have like someone who can play both big and score, and then you'd have a regular point guard, and that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's gonna be it. I mean, for today's video, if you guys want me to show you guys like the thing, I can. Feel free to, because like I said, like I said, I think that, I just wanted to give a little demonstration on what the roles are, because some people get confused when they play this game, and what position they should play, but yeah, that's me for today's video, man. I was supposed to make a video this morning, but, unfortunately, there's a little delay, but see y'all, man, and have fun, bro.